Hello everyone, and today I wanted to spotlight a mod that I've talked about before, and it's Landjane's Barbarian Empires. Now this mod was for the original Rome Total War, and there actually is an updated for the original Rome Total War, but there is a remastered version, of course, and it's currently in open beta, so you can try it. I'll have a link to it in the description below. And it has a submod, the provincial campaign submod, that I really enjoy. So here are the things about this mod. Now, Barbarian Empires is a total overhaul of the vanilla game, Rome Total War. So you have your standard, your 278 start date, similar to vanilla. And you have a few more factions added, including Epirus and a few others in the original game. And the original one uses the Mundus Magnus map, which, as you can see here, is present in the provincial campaign submod. In the regular open beta, there's only the giant Kersey map, which, I mean, I really enjoy. It's the best map ever created. For any Total War game, it's the best map. It's really nice and detailed and good looking. However, for Barbarian Empires, there isn't a lot going on in the Indian subcontinent, which is like a huge part of the Kersey map and Central Asia. So, like, unfortunately, I don't think the mod is like fully built for the Kersey map just yet. But when you put it back on the classic Mundus Magnus map, it works a little bit better. So I'll get into a campaign here in the regular Kersey map, and then I'll show off how good that map is, and then how good the Mundus Magnus map is, and then I'll do a custom battle showcasing a lot of the amazing units of this mod, because this mod stands out for its unit rosters and unit designs. I think that's where the strength of this mod lies. It builds on vanilla's strengths and takes it to the next generation. So let's get into the campaign here. I'll show off a few things, and then we'll get into that. All right, so here we are in the campaign as the greatest faction, Pontus. And when we talk of the Fog of War, it reveals the amazing Kersey map. So I'm just going to zoom out here and show off, what this map is all about. It's like taking a second. So this is an amazing scale, an amazing number of provinces. And I'll show off the factions here, first of all. So we have the Picts, we have the Iceni, and we have Germania as well as the Burgundii. And Gaul is kind of spread out over all of these Gaelic territories, even in Thrace and the Balkans and Germania and Iberia. Yeah, so Gaul is basically a super faction here. It's going to be split up. I have a feeling. No confirmation on that, so don't quote me on that. And then you have the Gaetuli in North Africa. That's a new faction. The Libyans as their own faction. The Greco-Bactrian kingdom here in Bactria. The Xiongnu here in Central Asia. And then, of course, the Indian subcontinent. And like I said, this is kind of the open area of the mod. And because Kersey's map goes all the way there, without an Indian faction, it's pretty empty. But also, if you just had one Indian faction on the Kersey map, then you can see how things can snowball pretty quickly. And then, of course, the Sabaeans would be a good one to see here, and maybe Nabatea as well to fill out the Arabian Peninsula. And then something, or Kush would be a good option too in North Africa. But anyway, let me just show off some nice looking parts of the map. So, of course, the map is very, very detailed. There's an amazing number of provinces, regions, and it's big, and it's also very tactical. So like there's a lot of mountain passes as there are in the real landscapes, and you can like take advantage of those. You can block them. You can trap the AI. The AI can trap you. It's a good experience to play on this map. And a version of this map, a cut down version, is used in Chivalry, Total War Remastered. And then when you play as, for example, a faction in the Iberian Peninsula or in Italy, it works out really well. You get a very detailed, very cool kind of campaign. Another standout feature for Barbarian Empires is that there's two versions for the original Rome Total War. One which has United Rome, that's called Hellenistic Legacy, and the original Barbarian Empires, which has the standard Senate plus 3 Roman factions. And this, since this is a port essentially of the original version of Barbarian Empires, not of Hellenistic Legacy, then you have the split Roman families. And of course, in this version, in Rome Remastered, this doesn't cause an issue with, the faction limit. So it works out really well in the mod's favor. And of course, we have Epirus over here. And yeah, we go over here to the Indian subcontinent, and you can see the amazing Gadrosian desert, and then the landscape of India. Excuse me. And Bangladesh, which is where the map pretty much ends. But, it needs a little more action here, and then past the Himalayas to Khotan, the Khotan area here. It would be nice to have Kucha or something as a faction in this region. That would be nice. It is something to make this region a little more dynamic, is what I'm saying. But until then, like, it's a very, very nice campaign regardless. So I will show off the Mundus Magnus version of this in just a moment, and then I'll show off some unit rosters, and then you will go download this mod and give it a try. All right, so here we are in the Mundus Magnus campaign. And all these new factions that have been added in Barbarian Empires really fill out Mundus Magnus and make it work quite nicely. Now, we still have a couple super factions that I'd like to see broken up, like Gaul, for example. But it's a little more bearable here. And the other thing is that because Gaul is so large and spread out, it does create a nice challenge for example, the Roman factions. But anyway, you can see the map is definitely more filled out here in Mundus Magnus. And of course, if you prefer a grander campaign, you could say, like where you can do a lot more things geographically in a shorter time frame, the Mundus Magnus map is very good. And of course, a lot of players of Rome Total War are quite used to Mundus Magnus because it's utilized in so many mods for the original Rome Total War. But in any case, as you can see, it's quite good indeed, and it looks great too. Like the ported version of the original looked great too, but the ported version looks very, very nice, very, very diverse landscapes. The textures here, I don't know if Lanjane has done something to the map textures here himself, but it looks very good in this mod, Mundus Magnus. But yes, in any case, we've got this version of the map, and I actually recommend this version to play right now. If you're going to play Barbarian Empires 4 Rome Remastered, go for this one. I think until a few more factions are added, this is going to be the kind of sweet spot. Yeah, in any case, I'm going to get into a battle here and show off just a couple of unit rosters, just so you see what this mod is all about, because it's all about how nice the units look. Of course, the campaign balance is also done very well. and the adjustment to the economy and buildings is also done very well. But I'll show off the units in just a moment. All right, so here we are in the battle map, and I'm doing something I've never done in a mod before. I've got the Roman roster here. I never show the Roman roster. So here, now what I want to mention here is that Lanjane takes very good care to have very full rosters before releasing a faction. So I'm sure he has, many units for other factions as well, but he hasn't included those factions because they're not fully ready. The Romans are ready, and actually all the factions here are quite ready. And these are just some of the remastered units. So these units are, of course, present in the original mod, or at least most of them. And a lot of them have been ported into Rome Remastered with several enhancements, right? So, like, this unit has clearly been enhanced for Rome Remastered. That's why you have the helmet and shield variation as well. So a lot of these units are, in fact, fully ready for Rome Remastered in terms of how they look. And they look very nice, very gritty, very detailed indeed. There's Romulus and Remus there on a shield. I don't know how intimidating that is, but there they are. And we have gladiators. So, of course, this mod is, if you prefer kind of the vanilla style, oh, that's interesting. It's Pat Burrell. Anyway, this mod, if you prefer kind of the vanilla style where, it's very, very history inspired, but is not a slave to history, like perhaps some other mods, this is the mod for you. It's very historical, and of course, it's more historical than vanilla, but it's not going to have that override good gameplay, right? So, oh, this is a nice looking unit. Yeah, a Roman auxilia type unit. Oh, classical hoplites. I feel like someone's looking at me. Anyway, we have our Samnite swordsman, Principes with a shield variation there as well. And of course, we have to look at some nice cataphracts because you have to judge a mod based on how nice its cataphracts look. And these heavy horse archer cataphracts for the Kingdom of Armenia look quite nice indeed. And the standard horse archers there, I think there's some variation here too. Yeah, they have variation. Which is nice to see the shield design of the Naharar cavalry here with their giant mace heads. Looks very nice indeed. Oh, there's weapon variation too for the Naharars. That like this kind of noble type mace, and then you have the more standard type mace, and then the sword. Of course, that is nice to see. The nice variation of these units as well, and the cataphract armor, of course, is on point, which is why I wanted to show off some cataphracts. And of course, oh, this is a nice looking unit too, the Persian Assault Infantry. So, like, if I were to envision an intimidating looking immortal unit, they would look something like this with the kind of metal mask. But anyway, there's a couple other units I wanted to show off as well. So we have Carthage here. Yeah, we have Carthage here marching into battle. And they have Libyan auxilia, Celtiberian auxilia as well. What else? Egyptian type auxilia as well. Looking very nice indeed. And then over here we have Libyans. Libyan cavalry and infantry. Let me pause this. And I like the way the Libyan troops look as well, because you have Libyan, like more coastal Libyans that are more influenced by Greek and Punic uh, um, styles of warfare. So you have the heavier archers, right, which don't seem to have come out of the desert warfare tradition. And then you have like Libyan heavy spearmen, which are uh, influenced by sort of Libby Phoenician style spear infantry, and with the scale armor as well. You have the guardsmen here with a sort of sickle swords type weapon, and you have the chieftain, who a little bit more traditional in terms of the style, but then you have the scale armor as well. Very nice indeed. I like the light cavalry look, actually. Looks very good. Of course, the Berber units in, what was the mod? In Reina Rome. I really like the Berber units there, as well. We have tribal warriors here as well. Looking cool indeed. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about Barbarian Empires 4 Rome Remastered. You can check it out for Rome, the original Rome Total War, as well, if you want a very cool, enhanced Rome Total War experience that sort of takes advantage of the strength of vanilla and the strength of the AI. I have to say, the AI in battle, because of the way the unit stats and certain things have been tweaked, is really good in this mod. And then the campaign AI as well, due to the way the economy is tweaked, it's tweaked so that the game provides a good challenge and it doesn't overwhelm the AI. So that's why I appreciate this mod. And that's why I'm showing it off again, even though I already showed it off. And I know I made a video about Scorched Ground where I said I had not covered it, but in fact I had just forgotten. But that's what happens when you don't regularly make videos about history games all the time. But anyway, yeah, if you enjoy videos about the historical Total Wars and their mods, consider liking this video, consider subscribing to the channel, consider playing a faction other than Rome, and I'll see you in the next one later.